YouTube. How y'all doing today? This preacher. So let me tell y'all about these here dispatch companies that have been trying to get me to sign up with them, my company with them, and they really be trying, you know. And I dispatch myself. I don't have a dispatch company. I've been booking my own loads for, in October it's going to be 5 years since I've been booking my own loads. So I'm almost at the 5-year mark booking my own loads. I know the areas that I like to run, I know the times that I like to run, I know the facilities that I like to go to, I know the commodity that I like to haul. Now, because my trailer is more than 10 years old, I can't haul my other commodity, right? And I make good money getting out of Florida, going to the terminals, to the ports, and getting paper and stuff from the ports. And with those loads, I make good money out of them. But my trailer is too old for that. And then plus, it's 2 other places that I go to, which is Georgia Pacific and International Paper. That I would get loads from to get out of Florida, and they some decent paying loads as well. And I can't have my trailer with that too. And then there's Sofadale. They be iffy with the trailer too. So these paper loads be the ones that pays pretty good getting out of Florida and stuff. Even some places where I would go to international paper, you know, they pay real good. In some of the other states that I go in, and to go to Sofadale, they pay real good, but the age of the trailer is always an issue. So that's like, I know how to work around that, so it's not a big deal. So anyway, so the dispatching companies, they be calling, and then I try to be professional with everything and how I'm saying everything to them. But when you're professional and you're letting them down easy, they'll keep calling back. They'll keep sending you a text message every other day. And I'm like, I told you I booked my own loads. What makes you think you're going to do a better job than me? Now, this is on the second conversation that I will have with them, right? So on the second conversation that I will have with them, I'm like, what do you think you're going to do a better job than me? And I said, well, how long you been booked? You've been dispatched. Oh, I've been dispatching for about three or 4 years. I said, well, I've been dispatching out for 4 to 5 years. So I have more experience dispatching than you. So why would I want to go down in experience than come up in experience? You know, so I get a little bit harsher with them. And then that still don't work. Then they'll reach out again. So then I ask them the 3 questions that always shut them up. First question I ask them, how many companies are you currently dispatching right now? How many carriers do you have your company is dispatching? And then they be like 15, 12, 18 is the normal number, right? So then I say, the second question I asked them is, what process do y'all take to verify these brokers that y'all gonna be booking loads from? How do you research them to make sure that they are paying and they are real brokers and they're not double brokers? So far, man, one of them been able to answer that question. I'm like, okay, I listen to whatever they saying, they mumbo jumbo. I'm like, oh, okay. And then the third thing I ask them is, okay, send me 3 references from 3 of your carriers that I can call and talk to ask them about y'all service. Is they happy with y'all service? Is the numbers that y'all saying that y'all can do, that they actually is getting. They said, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. I give them my email address. They never emailed me the information. No references at all. They'll call back. Yeah, hey, I want you to speak with my the main person, the main dispatcher of the company and everything. I said, well, why do I need to speak with him? Oh, so he could just tell you. I said, you ain't sent me the information yet. I asked you to send me 3 references of carriers that y'all are doing business with so I can call. And I'm going to verify that they are actual carriers as well. Oh, okay. So I said, so you don't want to speak to me? I don't want to speak to nobody until I get the information. Once I get the information, I know what questions to ask the main person if I'm going to decide whether to do business with them or not. I said, but I don't know. So speaking to them is no good when I don't have the information I need to make a valid decision. You know, and once I go through that process with them, they never call me back. Never call me back. Not one person that didn't call me sent me information, all the information I wanted. They didn't send me their business address with their business EIN number. They don't send that. And then they don't send me 3 references for these carriers that they so-called say that they are dispatching. They don't send me that. Because I tell them, okay, yeah, send me your business address and your business EIN so I can make sure everything matches up and you are really in business like you say that you are in business. Because if you're taking my money, I have to report that to the IRS because I'm paying you money. So for me, because I'm paying you money, I'm going to report that expense to the IRS. And they going to want to see if I'm really giving this money as a business expense. If I get audited, they going to want to know. So I'm going to need your information to say, yeah, I've been paying this business and it's an honest business. I'm not paying my cousin and then trying to write it off. I'm actually paying a business because it's a tax deduction. So I need your business information too. So they never send their business information. They never send references. And then they normally stop calling after I do that. You have to do your due diligence. Let me tell you, I had a broker. It was they claimed to be a broker named Best Bay, right? So they was trying to offer me a dedicated lane, and it was going to be for 3 months, and it was in Florida, going from West Palm Beach, Florida, to Gainesville, Florida, every day. And they was paying $900 to go from West Palm Beach, Florida to Gainesville, Florida. Red flag number 1. You get more money coming down in Florida than you do going up in Florida. So to come up from Miami or West Palm Beach, to go up towards Gainesville, Panama, Pensacola, Jacksonville, going up, you ain't gonna get paid that much money. Now coming down from those places, yeah, you can get $900,000 coming down those places, but not going up. You can't get that going up. That's not happening. Come on, stay in your lane, boss. Stay in your lane. So that was red flag number 1. So then I said, well, yeah. So then they tell me I have to give them $500 deposit for the lane. So I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, you gonna get the money back, but to secure the lane, it's a $500 deposit. I said, so you want somebody to give you $500 for a lane that I still have to pay for fuel and wait on you to pay me for the load that I ran. So you want me to pay for all that up front and give you $500. Yeah, but you get the $500 back in 3 days. So I say, this is an assignment fee that you got lanes available, or you know of a lane that is available, and that is your assignment fee. If you want this lane that I got available that could get you this amount of money, you got to pay me $500 for my services. So I said, send the contract over. Let me look at the contract. So then they send the contract over and give me Best Bay information, MC number and stuff. So then I looked them up, and when I looked them up, it says that this broker's has
construction was reported on I-75.
a lot of fraudulent activity to it. Please call this number to verify. So I'm like, okay, so I called that number, and it is Best Bay Company. And I tell the guy that I'm talking to about this lane that they said that y'all have. And on the paperwork that he gave me, you know what? When I get home this weekend, I'm gonna do a part 2 for this video, and I'm gonna show all the documents and everything. I like to show receipts. I'm not one of these truckers that just be saying things. That's why I always like to show my receipts. A lot of people be out here lying, and y'all just be falling for it, man. Y'all fall for it. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. God bless y'all. I'm gonna pray for y'all. So, and I tell him about it, and as soon as I said the guy's name, he said, no, that guy's a fraud. He don't have nothing to do with us. He is a fraud. He's been making fraudulent stuff, and that's why we got all these problems right now. That's kind of fraud. Do not do that. Don't send him no money. Send us the thing so we can continue to pursue him. But no, that's not a real name. I said, well, thank you very much. I said, I like to check all the brokers before I use them. You know? And then my factory company be like, hey, you need to check these brokers to see if we're going to buy that BOL from you or not. So I'm trying to make sure I get my money. So I do my due diligence, and I check. So that's what I mean. Now, when you don't know, you ain't been in this business as well. This is the business side of trucking that people don't talk about. You got to deal with all these scammers that's trying to do things for your business, and they're just trying to get money out of you. All these dispatch companies that's calling you, and then they trying to talk you into doing something, and they could be doing a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna mess your company up. You'll give them permission to get loads from you, right? And then what some dispatchers will do is they will already book the load up under your MC number and say, hey, I got this load for you. It's picking up here, going here, and it's paying this and it's paying that. You know, and then you're like, no, I'm not feeling that. I don't want to go to that area for whatever reason. Now, they already booked the load, signed the load, and everything up under your MC number with this broker. Now they trying to talk you into the load. Why? Because they have already booked that load. And now you're like, no, I don't want that load. I don't want to go there. I told you I don't like going to this area. I don't care how much they paying. I don't like going to that area.
Construction was reported on I-75.
You know, for whatever reason. So now they got to call the broker and cancel that load. But you got to realize that's your company that is canceling the load. They can report you to carrier 411, put freight guard on you for load cancellations. So they keep telling you they got this load, but they didn't book the load up under your MC, and without your permission, but you gave them permission because they're your dispatcher. They booking these loads and signing these rate cons for this and stuff, and then now they're got to cancel them, and now all of a sudden, if you ain't paying attention to your carrier 11, carrier 411, looking at it and see if you got any freight guards and stuff. And then that's the other thing. Carriers don't have access like that to carrier 411. Only brokers and shippers do. That's the other thing. You know, so every time you call a broker, they ask, hey, so what's your MC number? They put your MC number into carrier 411 and it says everything about your company. It says if you got any late deliveries. If brokers had put in there but you delivered their load late, it's going to show late deliveries, on-time deliveries. It's going to show that load cancellations on it. It's going to show all that particular stuff. They're going to show if you have any roadside DOT, roadside inspections. It's going to show all that stuff, any violations or anything like that that you got. So you got to protect your business when you're getting inside of this trucking business. This is the business part of it. It's more than just, okay, driving and I'm finna book a load. No, your carrier, your name is very, very important. It can break you or it can make you.
In 1 mile, keep left toward
The two
I-75
main brokers
north.
I've been using since I didn't have my authority has been C.H. Robinson and TQL. Both C.H. Robinson and TQL did offer me direct lanes because my score is like 100. I've been perfect and I've been making them a lot of money. So they've been calling me with opportunities for a dedicated lane. Now I can't take them because my other contract starts in October. So they wanted like a year with me doing it, and I just can't do it for a year because my other contract is a lot better. With my other contract, I'm home every other day. So I'm home Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights,
toward I-75 north.
Saturdays, and Sundays. When I deliver my load 8 o'clock on Saturday, I'm done for the rest of the day Saturday. Unless I decide to do like a same day load or something like that. You know, just for more money. But for the most part, I'm done by 8 o'clock on Saturday. And then it's just an hour home for my delivery. And I'm done. And by that time, I probably would have made about $6,800 to $7,000 for the week. And I'm done.
Continue on I-75.
You know, and that's a good load. I've done that load before. I did it for like two and a half years. I've done the load. It's the same places. I know the same people. You know, so I'm good with it. You know, I'm good with it. I'm really good with it. I can sleep at the shipper. So when I get there Sunday night, I can sleep at the shipper. And I'm good. I'm home Monday night. Delivery in the morning, go get a load, take the load right on and back up there. You know, and you know, I'm good. So I can't do the loads, and I told them, but they want to work with me because I've been doing a good job. Now I've been doing loads for Landstar too, but I only did like 3 and 2.5 months I've been doing this, actually on the road doing this. I only did like 2 or 3 Landstar loads. I did 2 Uber freight loads and 2, I can't remember. I know it was 2 for sure, but I think it was 3 because I think it was 3 with Landstar. But those are the brokers that I have ran. Now, next month, on the 2nd, I'll be at 3 months on my authority. So now I can book with some more brokers. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign up with some more brokers and everything like that. Going inside of month free. Because other brokers that I also use and run inside the area, I make good money with as well. During the off season, when I was doing that contract, I use those particular brokers for those loads and stuff. So I know that they have the loads that fit my schedule and fit me running down south, especially during the winter time, because I wasn't running inside no snow, and I never was going to run inside the snow. So I was using the same brokers, even though I was with West Motor Freight. I still was booking my own loads then. So I know to stay down. Even when I was leased on with Vitma, for the last 2.5 years, I really wasn't up there in the snow. I do slushy, but I don't like to do the heavy snow. I do like snow and slushy, but not the heavy stuff. I'm not finna take that chance. I mean, y'all can take that chance, but I'm not finna take that chance. You gotta remember, I didn't broke my neck before. I done had 2 neck surgeries. All right, so a little accident, a little spin out and stuff like that, all the jerky motion and stuff, I could get hurt. So my body just ain't built for that. But so, and then the other time with these dispatchers, I tell the dispatchers, I'm like, no, I can't afford no dispatcher right now. Oh no, it's just 5%. I'm like, 5%? Oh, good Lord, that's a lot of money. No, I can't afford no dispatcher right now. I can't afford it, man. Yeah, but I'm gonna be getting you more money. I can't afford. I need all my money. I don't need some of my money. I need all my money. I can't afford 5%. Well, if we go down to 4%? I said, listen, man, my factoring company takes 3% already. I got 7% that goes to my maintenance. That's 10% of the money that I don't see off rip. Now you want to add some more money into the picture. So when you talking about 4% or 5%, that put me at 15% of my money gone up front. At that rate, I might as well go ahead and be leased on to another carrier, because you got some of these carriers at just 12%. Save my operating costs. Especially carriers where you can book your own freight. Well, if I could book my own loads like I'm doing now, and it's only 12%, well, I actually can save more money just leasing on to a carrier instead of doing all that. So what's the difference? You know, so I got to tell dispatchers that when we start talking about money, I'm like, nah, man, it's people out here now that you can lease on to for 12%. And they take care of all the back office stuff. I won't have all the headaches that I be having now, trying to make sure I be inside of compliance with every single thing, doing all this paperwork. I got to keep all this paperwork. They handle all that stuff. It's like, well, shoot, man, I might as well go lease on. So I tell dispatchers that. A lot of times, once I tell them like that, then they'll leave me alone. So now you're too expensive. Too expensive. Then they say, you can't do $250 a week flat rate. $250 a week flat rate. I said, yeah, but that's $1,000 a month, right? He said, yeah. I said, so that's $1,000 I can put towards my maintenance account to help build up my maintenance cost. My transmission go out, that's $8,500, $9,000. So 9 months of working with you, I could have a whole new transmission inside my truck, right? When you talk about numbers with them, like I do, I talk about numbers because like I said, I was a chef, so I had to deal with budgets and numbers all the time. You know, you got to watch everything, man. You know how much a head of lettuce costs. Case of tomatoes, what all you can get out of a case of tomatoes from all your dishes and everything that you got to prep. So I mean, I'm used to doing budgets and writing budgets and doing declining budgets, doing performance and doing labor performance. I'm used to all that. Looking at the P&L statements, understanding all your P&L statements and where all your money is going. Stuff that you can't control and the stuff that you can control. So if your stuff that you can't control is super high, that means you really got to keep an eye on your controllable expenses. Like me, okay? For instance, last week, I did about 1920 in fuel. So that's the most I didn't spend in fuel since I've been out here. So like, man, how did I spend over 1,900 in fuel? So now I'm trying to think about what was I doing when I was spending all this money in fuel. Like, where was I going? But then I had to go back to my B&Ls, and I'm like, okay, every load that I took was my heaviest loads that I ever have taken. They're like 44,000. All of them was over 44,000 pounds. And I normally keep around between 38 and 40. I really don't like going over 40,000 pounds. But that week, all my loads was over 44,000 pounds. In the areas I was going, I had to go up these hills and mountains and stuff. You know, so I was burning more fuel, meaning I was spending more fuel because I was burning more fuel. So I'm like, oh, okay. So this week I had to go back down in my weight. You know, and then I didn't realize that until my first load I booked this week was almost 45,000 pounds. And I'm like, man, this was heavy, man. This was a heavy load. You know, and then I get my reports, and I'm doing all my reports on Monday as well. Then I look at the fuel, and I was like, oh, okay. So then it made me look. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me stop taking these loads, because now I'm spending more money in fuel. That's over my budget. My budget is about $1,800 in fuel for the amount of miles that I go. Now, that's when my adjustable cents per mile goes up. If I spend more than $1,800, it goes up. That's why I say my adjustable cents operating cents per mile is between 32 cents and 38 cents, depending on how I fuel. At that week, it had went up. It went up to like 37%, 37 cents per mile that I done. So that's what I be meaning by you got to watch your numbers. It's more than this business than just driving. It's more than this business trying to listen to these dispatchers and hoping a dispatcher is going to get you the numbers that you need. When I ask the dispatcher, well, how much money that they can get me, and then I'm saying, well, I'm already getting that now myself, so why would I need a dispatcher? You making that? I'm like, yeah, I'm making that. I've done this several times. I done sent the dispatchers my rate comes for the week just to prove to them that I'm doing it. And I always bet them $200. They never pay, but I always bet them $200. And I email it to them. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you doing good. I'm like, so why would I need you though? Well, we could do all y'all paperwork. I said, my wife does my paperwork. She don't work. She's the office person. She sits in the office. She does all the back office stuff. So why would I need y'all? That's what she's doing. She doing all the back office stuff that she's doing. She's sitting here calling brokers. I got a broker list on brokers that I've seen in the areas that I like to run. Right? So these are the areas that I like to run. So she's on all truck stop load board. She on DAT load board. She's on all the load boards. Going to the cities that I like to run. Seeing what brokers have loads consistently. So every day she's spending an hour on these load boards and doing the places that I like to run and states that I like to run, and seeing what brokers have loads in those areas. And not just one or two loads, I'm saying multiple loads in that particular area. So then she writing a list of them. And then when she get that list of them, good list, she tell me the broker's name. And most of them I have didn't use plenty of times. So then I tell her, yeah, okay, put a check mark by this broker, put a check mark by this broker. Okay, and then what she does is, like the next day, she'll start calling them. Hey, how long have you have to be in authority has been active before we can use them? So then she'll talk with them. Some of them 6 months, some of them is 3 months, some of them is 4 months, some of them is 9 months. So she writing down the months. Then she puts it in all of that inside of a calendar. Okay, at this time you can contact this particular broker to sign up with them. So she know how to do the carrier pack. She know how to do all that particular stuff. So when it hits to that particular time, she'll contact them and get signed up with them. And then that go on the list of brokers that we use. Like I say, I got 5 months out of the year that I have to do smart. I don't have to do smart market free. I got Niagara that I can do loads straight from Niagara, and I got my pallet company that I can do loads straight for the pallet company. But those like Florida to Florida loads, I'm talking about I don't have nothing that's coming out, nothing direct that's coming out of Florida going somewhere direct. All that has to be like straight spot market stuff. But my other stuff is just a Florida to Florida and then little short hops. So that's, you know, that's good. But like for instance, next week I'm gonna be doing just some not gonna be going out that far because I have my niece baby shower that we going to this weekend and stuff like that. So you know I got to do it for my niece. You know, the big enough for baby. But anyway, so the dispatchers, because when they can't contact me, they contact my wife, right? So I had to teach my wife the same thing and actually use dispatchers the same questions. And I still haven't found a dispatcher yet that can answer those questions. I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is the ones that's calling me regularly can't answer those questions. Now maybe the ones who's calling me are not the real dispatchers. They working for the dispatch company to bring them people to them. And so that's why they say, well, let me let you talk to my dispatcher. Well, let me let you talk to my this. So they just a salesperson. And they don't know that information. They just trying to get you caught on the line. Like they're just trying to hook the fish, and then they're gonna let the other dispatcher go ahead and reel you in. They're just trying to hook you. So it could just be that, and that's why they don't have that information. So I'm not saying that these dispatch companies are false dispatch companies or anything like that. I'm just saying they can't answer my basic questions that dispatchers need. Because as a dispatcher, you try to book me loads, you need to make sure that this broker all right. So what is your process you're going to go through to make sure that this broker is a real broker, that they're legit, that they still have their surety bond, that nobody has filed against their surety bond, and they are factorable for my factoring company that I use. If not, I got to wait 30 to 45 days for them to send me a check. But if they got a bad credit score rating, why would I take a chance that they gonna pay me within 30 to 45 days? So that's why I asked, what are y'all process to vet these brokers that y'all using and trying to sign up for? What are y'all process? How do you go about your process of getting a load or finding a load? Before you sign any papers or any rate cons or anything like that, do you go over that? Or do I need to get my written permission for you to do it? Either through text or email, say, yes, I'll give you permission to book this load. Or do you just book the load without me having to do anything? What safety measures do you have? Because again, once you give them your MC number and once you give them permission to use your MC number to book loads, they can use your MC number to book loads for somebody else that's planning on stealing the load. And now somebody else that picked this load up using your MC number, your stuff, and now they gonna be calling you about their shipment, and you gonna be like, I ain't pick up no load. What you talking about? Yeah, yes you did. Your company came here on this thing, they put the load, they supposed to be delivered this, and it haven't been delivered yet. So then you got to worry about all that particular stuff. I think that's what happened with Andrew Jackson. And now you got to fight with them, and then they're putting all these freight guards on you because you all this. So then I got to contact my lawyer. They have to challenge the freight guard. They have them take that off because it's false and it's defamation, and it could cost your business money. Now I got to pay my attorney all this money to fight this so they can get this off of carrier 411 because it's stopping me from having some business. And then you got to go through all that process with your lawyer. First, you got to contact them and ask them to remove it. Then if they don't remove it within 30 days, now you got to send them a cease and desist letter. And then if they don't do the cease and desist letter after that, now you got to go, after that, now you got to go file a lawsuit against them for defamation. Now you got to, and you spend the money throughout the whole time. Then they got 30 days after that to respond to the lawsuit. Maybe they take it off then because they're gonna be like, okay, you know what? This ain't worth fighting, and I really don't have the receipts. I need to really prove that this person did this particular stuff. So then they got to take it off. Because now if they don't take it off, now you can sue them for defamation. And it just was a lawsuit that was handed down for $425,000 to this one trucking company because of the carrier lied on carrier 411 and refused to take stuff off because some of these brokers get inside their feelings. That's why they talk nasty to you on the phone. And you still got to be professional, even though they talking nasty. They'll hang up on you. They like one broker was like, we pay $1 a mile. That's it. I said, y'all just got a flat rate of $1 a mile? He said, yeah, we just pay $1 a mile. That's it. It's no negotiation. It is what it is. $1 a mile. And I said, okay. Well, I can't do $1 a mile. He go, fine. And then he hangs up on me. I'm like, well, okay. What driver out here is taking a load for $1 a mile, though? That what was going through my head. Who is really taking a load for $1 a mile? Who really doing that? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, do they really have carriers out here taking a load for $1 a mile? I can see if you're taking a load $1 a mile and the load is going like 150 miles, 200 miles, and you taking it because you're trying to get yourself into that better area, and it's a same day load, light load, and picks up early, you can make it there before 11, and then because you got 2 loads in one day, you can drop that load off, and now you can pick up your other long haul load that's going to pay you some good money, right? So now you didn't deadhead that 250 miles, you just found a load. I can see that. All right, no problem. Because then you're still going to have plenty of time to make it to the delivery once you pick up the other load, even though you picked that load up. So I can see that if you're putting stuff together. But $1 a mile, and then the load was going like, what was it, 789, 786? It was like 780 something miles, and you're just trying to pay $1 a mile. I'm like, well, okay, well, thank you. Dude hung up on me as soon as I said, no, I can't take $1 a mile. No, that's just time too long. Fine, he just hung up. Like, you getting mad because nobody taking your $1 a mile loads? I'm like, really? How you getting mad at somebody because you lowballing like crazy? That is insane. You know, some brokers be right brokers, and they only making like $300, maybe $400 off of a load, depending on what it's paid. And the truck drivers is getting like a huge line share. But then you got some other ones that's taking $900 something off the load and trying to give the driver $900. They're trying to make the same thing that the truck company is making. They profit margins is like super high. But that just killed me with this one broker for $1 a mile. I'm like, what? No. Who's doing that for $1 a mile? For that long of a distance? Dude, man. No, not for that long of a distance. At $1 a mile? Who operating costs is $1? I just, The broker was serious, but he was mad because I tell in his voice and his huffing, he was mad because I didn't want to hear nothing about that $1 a mile. I'm like, how you expecting to move? Nobody's taking that. So you getting mad because people calling you about a load. And nobody's taking it because you trying to offer the load at $1 a mile. So now you mad at folks calling you about this load, and everybody keep hungry. So you mad at them because you lowballing this stuff. And like I say, everybody got to run their business how they run their business. You don't know what is causing them, the brokerage, to run their business. They may not have a lot of loads to give out. So they need as much as possible off the loads that they do have to pay their people and to keep their business running. And that's why they're so low. But that's their problem. That's not my problem. I asked the dispatcher, how do they handle that? When you got a nasty broker and the broker is just treating you any kind of way or talking to you any kind of way. Well, we just crossed that broker out and we don't use that broker no more. Okay. So that's your way of doing it. You just want to refuse this broker and then don't have no more freight with them. You don't try to iron things out. You don't try to work with them or get another broker from that brokerage and talk with that particular broker from the brokerage. Because maybe that person just having a bad day. Is everybody having a bad day? Because what if you in the area and then that brokerage that you don't want to use no more got the best load? You just not going to use them because you didn't like how they treated you before, but they got the best loads coming out of this particular area. So if I'm in that area and they got the best loads coming out of this area, you're not going to tell me about that load because you don't like how you was treated on the phone about this brokerage. So I'm stuck with you giving me some poor loads because you don't want to contact the other brokers that do have better loads in that area because you didn't like how they talked to you on the phone or how they hung up on you. So now I got to suffer as the company, and you telling me, well, this is all you got. This is the only thing I got in this area. You hear that a lot from other drivers. But they dispatchers, they tell them, hey, well, there's no loads, or they tell them this is all they got. No, you tell them this is the best that I can do. This is the only thing that's in this area. You hear that a lot from dispatchers. You're like, well, that's it? Like, yeah, these are your only options. Is they really? Then you got the other truckers that have access to load boards, and when they dispatchers tell them this kind of stuff, they go look at it and put where they at, and then they see that it's other good paying loads in that area. And then the dispatcher tell them, oh, well, we don't work with that brokerage. Oh, well, we don't work with this brokerage. No, oh yeah, we don't work with that brokerage. But what about this? They got a load paying this going here. Yeah, we don't work with that brokerage. So now you stuck in the area because the dispatcher don't work with somebody in that area. So that's what I mean by, hey, sometimes this stuff be kind of crazy, man. It really do. Sometimes this stuff be kind of crazy. But all right, man, I'll holler at y'all later. Watch out for these dispatchers, though, man. These companies. So if you starting your new authority, just watch out for these dispatchers. Ask them questions. Ask them the hard questions. But the problem is, if you getting in and you don't have no experience in trucking, you don't know what questions to ask them. So research it. Research about hiring a good dispatcher. What kind of questions do I need to ask to hire a good dispatcher? If you feel like you need a dispatcher, okay? If you feel like you need a dispatcher. I just like talking to them sometimes because you be on the road, you've been driving for a while, I need some brain activity. So I answer the call and I start talking with them and I start messing with them and asking them more questions like that and hear them stutter. Then they want to put me on with somebody else that can answer the questions. I said, so why you got a dispatcher calling me talking about being my dispatcher, and they can't answer basic questions about trucking? Oh, but they just started. No, he said he been dispatching for the last 3 to 4 years. They ain't just started, so he should know, right? He should know. What are you gonna do to guard my company from getting any freight guards? What is your process with that? Because they'll put a freight guard because they say that your company don't have no communication. They be reaching out to the dispatcher that they can't get, or return text, or return email, or return phone call. Yeah, you driving and you thinking everything is just hunky-dory. You getting there on time, but you didn't know that that broker didn't call 3 times throughout the course of the trip for any updates or anything like that to make sure that you're going to be on time. But you don't know that. You just driving, you happy that this dispatcher got you a okay paying load, and you just letting everything up to your dispatcher. But your dispatcher could be messing up your company name, and you don't even know it, that they messing up your company name. So watch out for these dispatchers, man. Y'all be blessed. Have a great day.